No one here can know what Daemon would do were he king, but no one can doubt his ambition.
When most people see Caraxes, they see the most distinctive dragon in Westeros, the red one, the one with the long neck that folds itself through the sky and screams like it's angry at the air itself. And then they move on. A nice bit of world building, nothing more. And if you looked a little closer, maybe you noticed he's a bit repulsive to look at. Lean where the others are massive, serpentine where the others are grand. Maybe you noticed the realm is afraid of him in a way it isn't afraid of the others, much the way it seems to fear Daemon himself. The court can never agree on what Daemon would do with a crown, but not one of them ever doubts his ambition. But in House of the Dragon, a dragon is never just a dragon. A dragon is a portrait of the person strapped to its back. And of every pairing in Westeros, none of them tells you more about its rider than the Blood Wyrm tells you about Daemon Targaryen. Because the beautiful king got the golden dragon, the mystic got Dreamfire. And the most dangerous man in Westeros got the one dragon nobody could ever control. Let me take you through it, because once you see what Caraxes is telling you, you can't watch Daemon the same way again. The unspoken rule. We'll start with something the series never states, but obeys to a T. The dragon matches the rider. Take Aegon, vain, gilded, desperate to be admired, a man who wants the glittering crown far more than he wants the actual job of ruling. And his dragon is Sunfyre, called the Golden, the most beautiful dragon in the world, scales like beaten gold, a creature built to be looked at. Or look at Helena, gentle, strange, half somewhere else, speaking in riddles that keep coming true. Her dragon is Dreamfire. You don't need me to make that connection. The dragon dreamer got the dream dragon. The rule holds up for cold, patient, lethal Aemond, the boy who spent years as the one without a dragon and then claimed the largest, oldest, most monstrous beast alive. Vhagar is ancient and scarred and enormous and entirely without mercy, and so, by the end, is Aemond. Or take Rhaenys, proud, formidable, passed over for a throne that should have been hers. They call her the queen who never was, and her dragon is Meleys, the Red Queen, by every account the fastest dragon in the sky, a creature that never had the size of Vhagar and never needed it. A queen denied her crown, riding a queen among dragons. And then there's Daemon. Daemon gets the one that looks like a weapon and shrieks like a banshee, the lean, red, ugly one that the people who raised dragons for a living looked at and decided was the most dangerous of them all. Everything about Caraxes, its name, its history, its body, is telling you something about Daemon that the man himself spends his time trying to hide. The names they earned. Caraxes is called the Blood Wyrm, and that name didn't come from Daemon. It came generations before him, from the Dragon Keepers, the people whose whole lives were spent tending these creatures. Out of every young dragon in the dragon pit, they looked at this one and reached for the word blood. Not for his colour alone, for his temper. The Blood Wyrm was the dragon that the dragon tenders themselves found dangerous. Now think about the man. Daemon isn't called the Rogue Prince by his friends. It's what the realm calls him, a name earned, not given, the one who won't be governed, the one who breaks the rule and dares either his brother or Rhaenyra to do something about it. Here's the part almost no one connects. The realm looked at the dragon, and the realm looked at the man, and it described them in essentially the same way. Two creatures that are fierce, unlovable, and impossible to bring to heel, the Blood Wyrm and the Rogue Prince. The dragon that traded down. But the name is only the surface. To see what this dragon really is, you have to go back, before Daemon, before the show even begins, to the man who rode Caraxes first, Prince Aemond Targaryen. And Aemon was everything Daemon is not. He was the Prince of Dragonstone, the undisputed heir to the Iron Throne, the most dutiful Targaryen of his generation, a man who gave his life to the service of the realm. And Aemon died in that service, cut down by a crossbow bolt through the throat while fighting raiders on the island of Tarth. He died, in the plainest sense of the words, for the realm. And then Caraxes passed to Daemon. Out of everyone the Blood Wyrm could have taken, out of every Targaryen alive, it chose the Rogue Prince, the exile, the troublemaker, the brother the court kept trying to push out of the room. The Blood Wyrm went from the single most loyal servant the crown ever produced to the single most dangerous man in the realm, and it never took another rider after him. Think about what that means. Caraxes didn't grow more dangerous the day Daemon climbed on. The danger was always in there. It was in there when the dutiful prince rode it, waiting to be released. All that changed was that the second riders stopped pretending. Aemon pointed the weapon at the realm's enemies. Daemon pointed it wherever he liked. And here's the tell you can see on screen. Remember how Daemon treats duty? When his brother confronts him over a cruel toast he made about a dead child, his own newborn nephew, the heir for a day, Daemon doesn't flinch.
The heir for a day. Did you say it?
We must all mourn in our own way, Your Grace.
Aemon died for the realm. Daemon raises a cup to a dead heir in a brothel. The same beast carried both of these men, and that's a coincidence the series overlooked. No, it's telling you about the entire character, both of the man and the dragon. Under the swagger. Which brings us to the way Caraxes looks, because that's the last piece. In a family of magnificent beasts, Caraxes is the ugly one. Unlike his siblings, he's built for killing rather than for spectacle. Next to the golden splendour of Sunfyre, next to the sheer grandeur of the older dragons, the Blood Wyrm looks like an instrument, like something forged rather than something born. He's also dwarfed by almost every other dragon in the show, but he's fast, he's vicious, and he spent more of his life in battle than almost anything else flying. He wins by being quicker and more menacing than his rivals. Which is Daemon, exactly. Daemon is rarely the most powerful man in the room he walks into. His brother wears the crown, other men command the armies. He wins by being quicker to violence and more willing to use it than anyone standing in his way. Just look at how Daemon presents himself. The swagger, the silver hair and the fine armour and the easy contempt. At court, Daemon plays the Golden Prince, the charming, dangerous, magnetic man who should have been king. But the dragon doesn't perform. The dragon is what's underneath Daemon's mask. Strip away his charm and his beauty and his birthright, and what's left is precisely what Caraxes is: lean, scarred, unlovely, and lethal. The Blood Wyrm is the honest version of Daemon. Go back to Dragonstone, early, the bridge in the fog. Daemon has taken his brother's castle, stolen a dragon's egg, and dared the crown to come and take it back. Otto Hightower comes in the king's place, armed men at his back, to bring the rogue prince to heel. For a moment, it looks like it will come to blood between men. Then Daemon plays the only card that was ever going to end it. He doesn't draw a blade. He doesn't make a speech. He lets Caraxes rise, the Blood Wyrm pouring up over the battlements behind him, red and vast and screaming, until every sword on that bridge goes back into its sheath. Watch what that scene is actually doing. Otto came to control Daemon, to fold him back into the order of things. And the thing that ends the argument is the dragon, the part of Daemon that cannot be controlled, rising out of the fog to remind everyone what he really is. That's the whole thesis in a single image. The Blood Wyrm is Daemon. And look at how it all ends in George R.R. Martin's written version. Daemon takes Caraxes to the God's Eye and throws them both at Vhagar, the oldest, largest dragon in the world, more than twice their size. It's suicide, and he does it anyway. Caraxes has his wings torn away and his belly opened, and still the Blood Wyrm locks his jaws around Vhagar's neck and drags the pair of them down into the lake to drown together. This is why, when you go back and watch Viserys, the tragedy of the two brothers lands differently. Because Viserys spends his life trying to civilize Daemon. He makes him master of laws, and when that fails, he makes him master of coin, and when that fails, he hands him the city watch. He gives him a place at the table again and again, beyond all reason, ignoring every warning his own counsellors press on him. And when they beg him to send Daemon away for good, Viserys refuses with the same answer every time.
Daemon is my brother, my blood, and he will have his place at my court.
Viserys keeps believing there's a version of Daemon that can be brought to heel, brought back into the family and made safe. But the dragon had already told him the answer. You don't domesticate the Blood Wyrm. You wait, and you hope it's pointed at someone else on the day it decides to strike. So here's what happens now. The next time that red dragon folds out of the sky and screams, you won't see Daemon's mount. You'll see Daemon, the honest version, the one under the swagger. And the next time Daemon flashes that golden smile, you'll see the weapon underneath it, coiled and waiting, red as a wound. Every dragon in this show is a portrait of its rider, so tell me which pairing gives away the most about the person riding it. Aegon and Sunfyre the Golden, the vain king and his beautiful dragon? Aemond and Ancient Vhagar, the cold boy and his monster? Or Daemon and the Blood Wyrm, the man nobody could tame and the dragon nobody could control? Drop your answer below and tell me which one you only really saw tonight. And if you want to keep doing this, pulling the thread on every Targaryen and the dragon that gives them away, subscribe. See you next time.